on. They were 7th at Terra Nova last fall in the 4-star long there. They also competed in the 4-star short at Plantation Field and Carolina International. And they were on that European developmental member team at Mill Street in 2024, where they did the 4-star there. So she has taken this horse all around the world and back already a few times. This horse was the co-champion in 2020 as a 5-year-old and developed through that young event horse program, then went to Le Lyon and did the World Breeding Championships where they were in the top 20. So you can really see how this horse has come up through Caroline String, been produced for several years with the top of sport in mind.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Caroline has really utilized the U.S. young horse programs in developing horses that can head over to Lyon for the 6-year-old and 7-year-old championships in France. And that seems to be most of the horses she rides. She starts as 4-year-olds. She gets them, she develops them through their career, and she has a real kind of tracking system where she's got real feedback from that pipeline of the young horses, of the marks that she needs to be hitting, so that the horses, by the time they're 8, 9, they're at the 4-star level, and not just at the 4-star level, 5-star level, they're very competitive. Or as her famous HSH Blake horse, they're headed to the Olympic Games.
Yeah, Caroline, a former Olympian, also a Pan American team member.
This horse, a very different model than the 16 horse that we saw earlier. Right, this is a really Caroline's quite tall, but this horse is really, really tall, really leggy.
I know on paper it says just 16 2 hands, but the way his neck comes out, he seems so much taller than that. I think maybe this could be like some of those athletes we see, Sinead, where, they don't quite tell you the real height. Some of our football players,
yeah.
It's just a little bit dependent on if they think they're a little big or small. You get a different version.
And Caroline does a really good job with him. The way that you said, you mentioned the way that his neck is put on, he's kind of all legs and limbs, and can give the appearance sometimes that he can get a little short in the neck. So she has to do a really masterful job of really riding from her seat and from her hand, so that she's always presenting this horse's neck to be out and out in front of him, because he's such a long horse that you want everything to really look like it's in proportion. He's a big moving horse with tons of power. And so the job is to keep that power balanced.
And there you see the power across the diagonal. No short on engine, this one. But she has a little bit of a time wrangling him in there, just showing a little bit of tension, sneezing a little bit there. And you see her have to really work to, again, be able to try to keep that nose out whenever she can to get the marks.
Change is coming through. Again, just coughing a little bit through the work, which is a little disruptive in the connection. You can see his movement. He almost, crosses over himself as he walks, kind of on a very narrow line. For a tall horse, it's almost like he's walking on this really narrow balance beam. Little tension in the rein back.
She's doing a good job here, being really patient in this walk, using the walk work to settle him a bit before she'll pick the trot back up.
You can see, you can see where her breast collar is. And it's almost, when you ride a horse like this, it's a really good visual, because you kind of know as a rider, sometimes when it feels good, they're a little short in the neck, but she's really making sure to keep those hands up by that breast collar so that she's, again, riding the horse from back to front and presenting him in a nice way. And you can just see she's got a lot to manage with him, and he's trying really, really hard. You can really get the feeling that this horse really tries for his rider.
There's moments in this test, though, Sinead, where you can really appreciate the quality this horse has in all three gaits, the strength he has. And here, maybe have a little bit of tension he's carrying with him today that's getting in the way of the really high marks. But I thought throughout the test, Caroline continued to really, make him as comfortable as she could in the ring. And I think that will pay off for their next outing as well.
From the USA.
So Caroline will come back one more time later today, and that will be with the horse she's